Hello, I'm Nathalie Dupree here for postandcourier.com with some fabulous little sausage balls that you can make ahead and freeze, pop out anytime over the holidays. These sausage balls are so easy. It's a pound of sausage and a pound of grated cheddar cheese. I really don't think you should buy the kind that's pre-grated because it's kind of plasticky and it's hard to chop up. And I want to show you later, these are the larger strips that I just did on the grater with a big hole. And man, after I made the first batch, which I'm going to show you, then I realized I had to go back and really grind these nicely, so this cheese nicely. So I did it in the food processor. It's a pound each of cheddar and sausage, a cup of flour for the whole thing. Now, you want to really crumble up this sausage if you can. And by the way, it's a good idea just to saute up just a little bit if you don't know your sausage. If you've never seen that sausage before, see if you want to add something to it, maybe a little hot pepper or a little salt or something like that. So after you crumble this up a little bit and add your flour to it, because that makes it a little easier to crumble up, then put it in a plastic bag, because who wants to spend their time mushing all this together? I love these little cutting boards. They're very inexpensive. You usually get 4 of them to the package, but I love them because you can measure out on them and they're so easy to clean. And if you're doing something like sausage, you want to keep everything as clean as you possibly can. So I'm just going to shove everything in here, and then that'll be easy to clean later. Now, go ahead and put it in your plastic bag and just mush until you have them very well combined. You want every little bit of that sausage and that cheese mixed together that you possibly can. I kind of made a mistake and left too much of my cheese on the exterior, and it's still delicious, as you'll see, but perhaps not as pretty as it would be if it was all sort of sprinkled through. So here's your well mixed mixture. And you want just a little of that sausage showing through, because you want people to know what they're eating and not just have the cheese on the outside. And then go ahead, get yourself a melon baller or something like that. If you're doing the whole recipe, then you want to divide it into thirds, as I did, and just work with one portion at a time. This is 3/4 of an inch or an inch. Usually these are an inch. But anyway, somewhere around that 3/4 of an inch to an inch, you start making little balls. And each quarter of the recipe makes about 25 of these little balls, give or take. Of course, if you want to, you can just make your own. But as I said, it's not anywhere near as nice as using this little melon baller and dividing it out that way. Then at least you know what you're doing and it's kind of heading in the right shape. Put them on a baking sheet with a rim, because you don't want sausage grease in your oven. 400 degrees, about 17 minutes. You should chill this if you think you're going to need to have it colder to handle it. It was easy today to handle it, but if you think it's going to need to be, if it was sort of squishy, then chill it. And now let me show you what I did before. All right, here we are with our little sausage balls. Once again, this is just 1/4 of the recipe, and you can freeze those balls before or after you cook them. And go ahead, and you see what happened, because I had so much of the bigger cheese, which I told you about earlier, on the outside, they stuck. So that's why you want to have both the meat and the cheese in a finer grate. You could even do it in the food processor if you wanted to. Put it here. You want to discard all that fat. Take these little guys and eat them yourself, or freeze them, or pass them around to your friends. I'm Nathalie Dupree here for postandcourier.com with sausage balls.